Hey y'all. It is March 28th, and not really much has happened today. It's Saturday, and everybody's in quarantine, but I just got done work because it's also still tax season. Um, it's the job I signed up for. I knew what I was getting into when I got into public accounting, but still, it's like, just let me sleep. Actually, today I tried 3 different times to take a nap, and each time, like, somebody, 2 times I got calls, and one time Daisy was like, "We gotta go." Um, People would not let me nap today, so I was a little cranky. And then my day slightly morphed into my family calls it a even in Australia kind of day because there is a kid's book called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, and basically everything goes wrong for this kid. Like everything in his day just goes wrong. If you're unfamiliar with the book, like, he goes to school and he's like, yeah, and then the teacher yelled at me, but it wasn't my fault, and I got put in timeout, and then we went to daddy's office, and I touched his copier, and then the copier broke. Then I went home, and my bathwater was too hot, and I got soap in my eyes, and I was sent to bed without supper, and just nothing goes right in his day. And throughout the entire book, he keeps saying, you know, I want to move to Australia. This would never happen in Australia. And at the end of the book, his mom comes in and talks to him and says, some days are like that, even in Australia. So it was kind of an even in Australia kind of day where it just seemed like nothing quite was going right. But then I kind of took a minute, took Daisy on a walk. My day kind of turned around a little bit. I finally got my groceries out of my car. Obviously, nothing like refrigeratable or perishable. And I forgot all the stuff I bought. I bought so much stuff. I don't know why I bought that much stuff. I see. It's kind of funny. The panic buying. I'm not buying anything like in bulk. I mean, aside from the fact that I buy groceries in bulk sometimes at BJ's anyway. I'm not buying anything ordinarily. I don't buy in bulk, but I am allowing myself to buy things I would never buy normally. Like I bought myself a tub of M&Ms. I thought they were peanut M&Ms. Turns out they're peanut butter filled M&Ms, which, like, they're not bad. I mean, like, I'm still gonna eat them. But like, I think we all can agree peanut M&Ms are the superior M&M, obviously. Um, yeah, haven't really seen anything too big on the news. Although Trump, I don't look, this man, I wish to God we had nearly any other president than this one right now. Like, oof. It's really bad when I think George Bush would be doing a better job, but I think at the very least he'd be listening to people. He has said in the past day that if governors aren't nice to him, he'll be less willing to offer their state desperately, life-threateningly needed medical supplies. So there's that. Also, he said that he wanted to have people back. Sorry, my hair looks a mess. I'm gonna hop a shower after this. Which is, my roommate is convinced is something only I say. Hop a shower. I'm convinced other people say this. If anybody does watch this and you say or you know someone who says hop a shower, can you let me know? Because I would like to prove that I'm right here. Anyway, he said we were gonna have people back in church by Easter. Easter is April 12th this year. That's in 2 weeks. We're not. There's no way. We are still, the death toll is rising, the overall confirmed cases is rising. To be fair, the recovered rates are rising as well, but it's kind of be expected with the overall rate rising. Anyway, so he said that today. He said that the other day. Today, he said something about how this could continue on until August, which I'm like, dude, make up your mind. Which stupid stance are you gonna stand behind? Because just pick one, and then we can fight about why it's wrong later. But just pick one. Um, yeah, he also said that because I think I mentioned to you guys before, New York is being hit the hardest out of anyone. New York has more cases than any other state. They are New York is going through some stuff. Um, God, you ever wonder just like why New York? Like, just let them go. Let them. Every time you're watching like a superhero movie or something, it's like New York that gets destroyed, and you're just like, come on, guys, just let New York be. Um, they're they're struggling the most with this one right now. So he said he is going to institute. He literally in the same breath he said, "Well, we don't know. We don't think it's necessary yet, but sometime today it might become necessary." And I'm like, if either it's not necessary today or it is necessary today, it's not. The rates are not going to change drastically enough within 2 hours that you're gonna institute this. But he said he was going to institute a quarantine for New York, parts of New Jersey, and parts of Connecticut to make the tri-state area. And I don't really understand how that's going to be any different because the governors have already, to be fair, I'm not 100% positive about Connecticut, but I know New York is on heavily on lockdown and New Jersey's pretty heavily on lockdown. The governors have already stepped up and made this a thing, so I don't really understand why he thinks he could what he's going to do aside from lend maybe people who aren't listening to the governors will listen to him. I think that's the only good thing that could be wrenched out of it. But all right, let's see here. Um, Total deaths in the U.S. have now climbed to over 30,000. No, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Globally, 30,000. Deaths in the U.S. are at just under 2,000. The recovery rate has not been climbing as drastically. Today it's at 921. 15 states have declared disasters, which realistically, I think the only purpose of declaring a disaster is just for the tax purposes. You can't claim disaster credits unless the area was presidentially declared as a disaster area. So, for example, when there's a hurricane, here's a little tax lesson for everyone. For example, when there's a hurricane and it's a federally declared emergency, then everybody the next year when they're filing their taxes can say, hey, we lost all this because of the hurricane, or we had to replace our house because of the hurricane, and you get credits, you don't get taxed on it the same way. But if it's not related to that, you can't claim it. So that's why that's kind of the difference there. Yeah, New York has of the confirmed cases in America, which is 116,000 right now. 7,000 of them are in New York. Like, actually, sorry, I'm just gonna do the math on that real quick. I have my Tenki here from work. Love my Tenki. Tenki is life. Okay, so it's 6%. It's not a huge percentage, but they're way worse than everyone else because of just how condensed they are. And those, actually, I should mention, those are just the people who've been hospitalized. The vast majority of people who get this don't have to be hospitalized. So that's not an accurate number, but that's still rough. Yeah, I think tonight is going to involve cleaning out my big closet. I have a big storage closet in my hallway, to kind of rearrange it so I can put my things like my jars of M&Ms in there. Besides, I had a little mousy mouse problem. Hopefully had as in the past. and I haven't really had a chance to clean out the closet yet since we've dealt with that problem. So hopefully I'll be able to clean everything out, vacuum everything. So if there is any evidence of new four-legged visitors in my house, I will be aware. I mean, cross your fingers, there's not. I'm really, really not a fan of mice. I'm really glad we dealt with, I'll say, the one that we had before Eliza left, because don't know if I'd be able to do that by myself. Also, my dog, people kept saying, like, I was, calling exterminators, I was doing this, I was doing that, because I really don't deal with mice. One very memorable time in college, there was a mouse in my apartment. It ran into the living room. I screamed, jumped up on a chair, ran out of my apartment, and wouldn't go back to my apartment until the mouse was gone. Yeah, that happened. So really, the fact that I was like, okay, we have to call the exterminator to come here and deal with this was a huge personal growth step for me. But no, people were like, well, won't your dog get it? And I was like, are you kidding me? But in fact, the one time we did see it run by us, I screamed and jumped up on the couch. And Daisy just like stared at it. It was like, oh, what's that? I'm like, girl, you're supposed to go, kill, attack. But actually the whole reason I have her that we know of, is we think she was bred as a hunting dog and then she wouldn't hunt and she lives in this house, so she was abandoned, and then things got worse from there. But yeah, the whole reason I have her is because she won't hunt anything. And we kind of jokingly call her like our worst hunter, because she will just like literally like squirrels have run right in front of her, and she's just like, oh, what's that? Shall we continue with our walk? Like, she could not care less. One time we did actually see, so she's a treeing hunter, she's a treeing walker coonhound, excuse me, and they are specifically bred to hunt raccoons. And one time we saw a raccoon and she was just like, interesting, keep walking. She could not have cared less. But the one thing she does actually go after with like any degree of consistency, like she tried to charge a cat once, but it's because the cat jumped out and like scared her. She's like seen that cat multiple times. She like doesn't ever try to go after it aside from that one time. But like the one animal she will consistently try to go after is deer. And I live outside of Philadelphia where we have the Wissahickon. Like, we have a huge deer population here. It becomes a problem every once in a while. And I like I said before, I live on like a campus and there's a lot of green space, so especially in the warmer months, deer will like walk across at night. But yeah, she will go after deer, and I'm like, really? You're gonna go after the one thing you're like smaller than? Can't go after anything smaller than you? But nope, guess not. So yeah, so like I said, that's my really exciting Saturday night plans, cleaning out the closet. But everyone's in there with me. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna like watch a movie while I got it. I have a Angry Orchard cider chilling in the freezer now, so that I will be properly refreshed as I clean out the closet. But I think that's it for now. All right, talk to y'all later.